A lot of times people do not show up, not because they are not smart, they just don't become consistent. Meaning that when I roll over $103,000 from another account, it's because sometimes the person hasn't seen them in 2 or 3 years. And if you're the one that becomes consistent in visiting 8 schools, not only will you get 2 immediate responses, but you will actually also have 6 to 4 potential follow-ups, meaning that if 2 people say yes immediately, there's still 6 more schools to confirm if there's an opportunity. Maybe they don't say yes because they don't like you. That's not true. They just are busy. They might tell you to send them an email. They may say the principal is not available, or you have to confirm it with this particular individual. But then you have 6 to 4 opportunities to follow up to create a pipeline of events. Why do I want you guys to follow up and create a pipeline of events? Because every event that I've ever personally hosted, I can't speak for everybody else, I have had a minimum of 8 opportunities. That's my worst case scenario. And my best case scenario, which is more than often, is 25 plus opportunities. So per event, you are pretty much guaranteed. I don't want to word the guarantee because I don't like using. I guarantee that I've created personally 10 to 25 opportunities per event. So when I host a minimum of 4 events per month, I can create 40 opportunities on the worst case side, and I can create 100 opportunities, which I have. I have plenty of cards sitting right in front of me. If you guys can see my whole light here, depending on the background, and that's how I create constant appointments for my calendar so I can speak to people who want to have a conversation about financial solution. And larger districts may even produce more events, meaning that if you go to a school that has a lot of action, or it's a larger environment, or people like to go into those lunchrooms, you will create more opportunities. We've had successful agents go in and create 35 plus opportunities. Will everybody answer the phone? Absolutely not, but enough people will answer the phone to drop some funds in your account so that you could develop your skills and become very consistent on how to have a conversation. And if you notice that word is consistency, if there's one thing that I've learned to become, it's discipline. Discipline allows you to create predictable results. It may not create the results that you want, but it will create results consistently because you will do everything that you need to do regularly and consistently with the intent to leverage that in your favor. So, now that I've given you my precursor to this course, I want you guys to also write this down so that by the time, or take a photo of this screen, by the time we wrap up this event, you should be very clear as to what marketing tools you need to get into schools. Do me a favor. If you are a licensed agent with National Life Group, please order these materials today so that you can get active. I'm going to show how to you how they are no cost to you. I'm going to show you how to leverage the staff directory because it's a public piece of information. You want to get very familiar with a school calendar, and you need to get access and become a giving person. One of the things that I've learned to leverage when I got on a call a year and a half ago was that they say, "Hey, don't come empty-handed." So I'm going to show you how to create some gift bags. I'm going to show you how to map out the schools so that you're very clear as to having a very clear agenda when you hit the locations so that you know where you're going. I'm going to teach you what to say and how to approach schools so that you're very clear and confident by the time you walk off this call today. And then I'm going to tell you the how to leverage sweet treats and table events and other type of events that will eventually come. I won't be able to hold you the whole call, but I'm going to try my best within the next hour and 15 minutes to make sure that you're very clear. Next time we'll do a second version. And then I want you to get into contact mode. One of the biggest mistakes I personally made was my first event, kind of thought it was over after I bought the 30 cards at home. And then you wait a week or two later, or you wait till you want to hit BD to call everybody, basically. So I want you to get consistent today to make it very easy so that you can leverage. I hope that's fair. Let's see. Can I get a couple ones in the chat to make sure that I got people with me? I see muted calls and some muted screens, but I just want to make sure. Can I get a couple one in the chat so that people are with me? Let's see who's here. All right. Thank you, Mr. Clint. Thank you, Mr. Lamont. Thank you, JD. Thank you, Miss Fola. All right, Mr. Suni Samad. Let's see any other ones because I hope you're here with me taking notes and you're not Paying attention, hopefully. All right. Thank you, Miss Alice. I appreciate you. All right. So let's go on. Now, now that we know this, what are the ERG resources that you should get access to and why? Hey, your business card is your best friend. You can definitely have some digital assets. Nothing wrong with upgrading the game. But as you walk into schools, you're going to meet constant people all the time. Definitely can use your digital assets if you have them. But people want to know who you are. So when you walk in, you're going to be able to get all of these tools from the ERG coordinator. They've already created templates, but you need at least some basic form of communication. Hey, my name is Hans Augustin. I'm a financial representative. Here's my point of contact. Here's my email address. ERG happens to have nice branded stuff that makes us very look classic, just like any other organization. And you want to make sure that you have access to a business card. Business cards have become my best friend because I'm constantly meeting people from the time that I walk into a school. I am friendly. Hey, how are you doing? How's it going? Meaning that I walked in, I'm going to show you what to say, and you should be, politicking and communicating and connecting if you can. And you're going to also need the business cards because once you show up into the office, people are going to be like, who are you? And you're going to want to have your materials so that you can shine like the financial professional that you are. In addition to that, please don't disregard this. This is probably one of the most important tools in the box. Today, once you get coordinated, because this is the labels that I'm going to show you how to place on gift bags. I'm going to show you how to place them on your actual folder. I'm going to show you how to put them in little thank yous and hey, little envelopes and say like that so you can stay branded. I'm big on this branded thing because in the relationship-based business, this is what we are doing in ERG. We are relationship based, meaning that if you become part of the ecosystem of a school, then it's going to be easy to meet the pastor across the street. It's going to be easy to meet one of the small business owners because he might be married to the teacher that is in the English class. It's going to be easy for you to meet the association member because he might be the president of the association. He just happens to have a job as a teacher. So what I want you guys to understand is that this is a connective based business and nothing's ever wrong in the school system, meaning that that's their problem, not yours. You don't go in angry, you don't go upset, you're not the boss there. You are a relationship manager and you're going to use your labels accordingly to connect and develop relationships. I never forget when I got here on this platform, I learned from a Lauren Coffey, I learned from a Suni Samad, I learned from different individuals, Gabe Gonzalez, that this is a relationship business. You create appreciation events and you connect, but you want to have your name and information placed everywhere you can so you connect accordingly. One of these tools that got created here was this ERG marketing flyer. One of the things that you should also be aware, although we sell life insurance, although we sell other forms of solutions, 403B 457 is the approved product in a district. And if you have not participated in the 403B compliance class, I'll show you how to get to that. But you want to be very clear that when you're in a school, you're really talking about 403B. But this particular flyer happens to be my favorite because it says, hey, we can help you answer with what your payout option should take out. What should I take out from my pension? Hey, am I saving enough for retirement? How does the 403B 457 plan work? And how can I maximize my retirement saving strategy? Saving strategy. This brightly says, hey, this is the Education Retirement Group, an organization whose main purpose is to provide information for teachers regarding their current pension plan and their supplement options. It says ERG representative may have their own financial practices where educators can seek out more information and available financial products in a separate meeting. So it already kind of tells people you got more. So this is one of the highlight cards or highlight flyers that I happen to put in my no cost NLG flyers and folders of information. So that way you can represent yourself and your name. Let me tell you why this works. I remember forgetting I left these folders to somebody else and somebody called me from a school district. She said, I think my friend left this at my house, but I'm a teacher too. Would you be able to help me? I love this stuff. You guys can't talk to me about ERG. I tell people it is extremely powerful once you begin to understand that you are building a brand and you're building a connection point and you are now positioning yourself to develop relationships consistently. So I highly recommend that you get it. These are just things that you're going to print out yourself. You're going to head over to a Staples. If you have your own printer at home, you can set up the labels very easily. But the flyer can easily be done because they already have the template for it. At the end of this, you can send your email. We'll send it to the staff so that they can share it with either your ERG coordinator, or you can position it where our staff will send you a copy of it, as long as that's still the game plan. The other thing that you want to get access to is this letter. This letter gets directed to principals, and it's a way for us to be able to build connections. Now, you're going to find out, write this down right now, please. The 3 people that you need to get in contact with at a school, I'll show it to you on the next couple of slides, is going to be, one of them is going to be the principal, the other person is going to be the assistant principal, and the secretaries, please do not sleep on them. These administrators, they're really the boss. But in order for you to really garner some attention in the school, you have to respect that the principal is generally the main authority in that school, that elementary school, or in that high school. And they might be the yeses. They might have other people that they might validate to. But every once in a while, if the secretary is not sure or the assistant principal is not confident, they're going to go straight up to the top. You're going to use this letter as a way to introduce yourself. When you're doing 8 visits, I also do what I call 8 free follow-up emails to the school. And I use this particular letter as a way to introduce myself. Hey, congratulations on a great new school year. Although the activities never slow down, I do hope you and the teachers and the students are seeing a great success. I would like to take the time to introduce myself. My name is Hans Augustin. I am one of the education retirement reps for the district. I don't want to read the whole thing, but it says, understand that I help them understand their pension plan. We help them for retirement. I partner with your district as an approved vendor. So this is a great way to make sure you have relationships. I'm big on relationships because relationships will make you a couple $1,000,000. You never know who's going to position you, who's going to be able to help you. But when you visit the 8 schools, the best practice is to get into a routine of being able to reach out to the principals ahead of time, introducing yourself, especially in approved school districts. In some of the other ones, you could do it the same way, but you can use this letter of information in addition to the fact that you are not only going to use this letter, but when I create my folders, I put this in there, and I also put that in there, and I also put the letter, especially when I'm going to connect with principals first, because I have my 8 or 16 folders that I will show you how to get, and that way you can kind of position yourself to. And it says, "Oh, I see. I can rest quick for you." All right, so perfect. So she might be answering some questions, but as far as I'm concerned, you'll be realizing that you'll be able to leverage this letter to introduce yourself. And how are you going to do that? I need you guys to get comfortable, and you should take a photo of this particular slide. And then when you also go into ERG, you will also find out that you literally are going to position yourself to ensure that you can find out what other materials are available to you in the background. But what you're going to realize is that when you go into NLG, you are going to request NLG branded folders. These are zero cost dollars to you. So for example, you are also going to be able to request the retirement analysis card. This is your lead generation card. You're going to use 101, 1251, 101, 251 as the order and item number for this particular situation so that you can organize yourself properly. Let me give you a better example because I'm a big live person, and that way you guys can see directly in my screen. Let me see here. Let me know. Give me a 2 in the chat if you guys can see my NLG screen pop up. I just want to make sure you guys can see the same screen. Can you guys see it too? Thank you. Perfect. So you're going to go to Forms and Material. Once you click Forms and Materials, everybody, once you've logged in, you're going to log in. You're going to look for your Tools section. You're going to go to Forms and Material. Once you hit Forms and Material, it's going to take you to the order screen. So if you needed to put 101,251 and hit search, you should be able to find that item. And one of my favorite particular stuff is this particular card itself. This card is where you can collect information from the client, confirming their name, their address, their city, their state, their phone number, their email address, their date of birth. And I've had plenty of people give me their spouse date of birth. They tell you how long they've been in the school system, what their annual salary is, what their paycheck is, and what current contributions and what school district do they have. And they will often tell you what their problem is here so that you are very clear as to what you're having a conversation about. When you do that well enough, guys, you will realize that not only do you do that well enough, you are going to make sure that because you order consistently, let me go back to the main screen and close this out. You're going to get, once you hit tools and forms and materials, you're going to hit tools. You're going to order all of this stuff. If you notice, I order stuff religiously from National Life. I just ordered a set of stuff. I started doing some stuff with the Life Changer, but all my normal stuff is right here. So if you needed this income driver product, you're going to hit 50 of them and you're going to add to cart. If you needed it's already there. If you needed this actual tax-free, if you're not dealing with the school system, you're going to add free. If you need folders, you're going to add 50 or 100. And then if any other product that you need to recognize and have a conversation in the school district, you're going to go to the actual cart and you're literally going to hit print and then you're going to hit checkout and submit. And they send that box and all of those materials 100% at no cost to you. So one of the reasons why I always tell people that you should get very comfortable with this reality is that you can make sure, let me make sure I'm sharing my screen again so that we're all on the same page, right? So you're going to position yourself to access this stuff. So when you understand that you're selling 403B, those are the solutions you're going to be able to share. Flex Secure is one of the products that we use to write 403B, 457 Roth plans. And you'll learn that. You can learn that in your own individual pods, or you'll be able to go on National Life training. But these are the solutions that you have to, or haven't lost a penny. One of my favorite little flyers. So sometimes if you're doing something quick and easy and you don't have folders, you might at least have the flyers. But every event that I personally go, I have a fully set of stock of 50 or flyers. Matter of fact, my wife is about to kick me out my own house because I got too many NLG boxes here. Because I'm always having more, because not only am I doing it for myself, but I'm building an organization. So sometimes maybe they're not ready that day, but I am. And I got always an extra set of 100, not trying to create handicaps, but I'm telling people I am personally prepared for the success that I want to try to create in any environment. So if you are NLG, have your license number and everything, you should order these today after the call. They take them 2 to 3 days so that you're ready for the event that you're going to learn how to produce here. That means everybody on this call should be visiting schools next week or should be potentially hosting an event or creating an opportunity to get to an event. But these are my best friends. When I go in there, I carry folders and I give them away like candy. If I walk in and I introduce myself and I see the security guard, hey, I haven't met you before. By the way, my name is Hans. I'm looking for the principal. It's Principal Johnson here. Sure, great. She's in the office. By the way, let me leave you a folder of information. When I stop back out, I'll see if I can connect with you, but I'm going to go speak to Miss Johnson first. That's how I talk now. When I first got here, I'm going to show you how I first was talking, but once you become confident about things, you become clear. But I'm also representing the brand. And when people ask me who you are, sure, let me leave you a folder of information. My labels has my card. Do you have a card? I said, no, I'll give you a folder of information. My label has all my information. If I don't happen to have a folder, I definitely have a card in hand to introduce myself. So this is the stuff that you want to order. You can use these set. If there's certain things that are state specific in your particular state, you can always hit in that section your state to kind of see if there's anything different. But I would say more than 80% of the time, a lot of the information stays the same, right? So far, so good. So remember, I told you guys that you got the first part. Part one is if you don't have your marketing materials, then I don't know what you're marketing. If you don't have your folders of material, I'm not saying you can't walk in and have school, but you want to build your brand. You want everything to look nice. You want leave behinds. People are going to ask you who you are, what do you represent. Great. Pleasure to meet you, Ms. Johnson. Let me give you one of my folders. Or people are going to say, hey, do you have some contact information? Already prepared, Ms. Johnson. I got my folder of information. Let me give you one of my folders. Good, turn it around. I pop up, hey, this is my principal letter to you. Just thought, I said, did you receive the one I sent to you before? She said, no, I don't remember that. Well, great. Either way, I bought you a folder. Now, sometimes I bring my energy down. Hey, let me give you a folder of information. And I was looking at the calendar. So, what I'm sharing with you guys is those first parts are extremely important. Now you're starting to do visits, right? You're going to find that some people immediately will say yes, and some people require a follow up. So, this actual follow up email is something that can be modified in favor of stating your state or your particular name. But this is a great way. Hey, let's say I just walked into school number two. And school number two says, yes, Hans, that would be great. We locked in a date. School number three says, by the way, Hans, the principal's not here today. I'm not sure. We have had representatives come before, but I don't know if we can confirm that. Let me verify. So I said, no problem. Let's say I'm talking to um, Secretary Miss Fowler. All right, Miss Fowler, no problem. When I get home today, I am going to send you a follow-up email so that we can confirm the time that you and the principal would agree. And this letter is going to say, hey, my name is Hans Augustin. I'm a retirement benefits specialist with ERG. I had the pleasure of meeting you and welcoming you at the front office step at the campus on Wednesday, November 8th. And I hope you were happy with your bag of goods. I told you guys are going to need your bag of goods along with the letter and the flyer about our program. I spoke briefly with both of you and the secretary and Friday about your program offers the education community all over the great state Texas, as well as my colleagues. I would like to schedule a date on your calendar. National Life is the district approved vendor, and we are licensed and contracted with. So the whole point, I won't read the whole letter. This is your way for follow up. And this was gold for me, guys. This is gold. The reason why it was gold is because yes, I might have got the 2 or 3 events, but I personally was never satisfied. I was like, I want some more because you might be able to do a 4 events for the month, but what about next month? What about the month after that? Because it's like a ball, we've been saying lately, it's chess, not checkers. The reason why we're saying that is because we realize that we want to build a long-term relationship. So you're visiting 8 schools with the intent that you might get 2 or 3 yeses or you might get no, but you are okay with following up because they want to see how serious you are too. I would swear that I probably believe that most people end up saying yes. It's because they're like, this guy must be serious because he followed up with me again, or he gave me a phone call, or I stopped by. See, if people start to remember you enough, and this is one of the ways that you're going to help them remember you. And you could do some modifications, but don't go too far because the whole idea is for us to make sure that we can create an opportunity to reconnect because you'll get your 2 or 3 yeses, but then when you get home, you want to create a routine of being able to follow up because you told them that too. See, whenever I tell somebody something, I say, okay, well, great. I will get it to you this afternoon. Tomorrow, it'll be in your email box. Now, there's lifestyle reasons where that cannot go on, but try yourself 100% of the time to get to the place where you're very consistent with that. The other thing that you have to do is become very clear about the district calendar. The district calendar becomes your best friend. And what you're going to do is you're going to learn how to research the calendar of any public school that you are planning to target. So let me take it a step back, meaning that when you connect with your business director or you start learning this program or you start understanding what you're going to do or you start connecting with NLG, you're going to identify the school districts that you are interested in connecting with. So let's say I'm connecting with the East Orange School District is one of the ones that I serve here. And I'm going to now try to find out about as much information about the East Orange School District. And one of the things that I'm going to do is leverage the calendar to verify some key dates. Some of the key dates that you should become very familiar with. I'm sorry, guys. When it permits. Okay. Some of the key dates that you're going to become very clear about is what they call professional development days. There's also going to be what they call staff development days. So today, right now, we're in January. This is the second half of the new season. The new seasons for most schools start in either August or September. In the South or some areas like West, they might start school around August and they might stop school around May, like Florida. Or here in the East Coast, we start school in September and it normally ends around June. In September or throughout the school seasons, there are these non-student days on the calendar. And in the beginning of the season, these are great ways for you to connect with the staff alone without uh, uh, students being present, or it's great ways for you to introduce yourself. So on these calendars, they have professional development days, they have staff development days, they have teacher development days, or inset days. These are days that are non-student days, and they are typically heavier on this calendar during the initial beginning of the season or a week before. Elena Taylor, one of the young ladies on our platform, she had already had 13 plus events set up this season because she started wrestling up opportunity during the summertime, and during the preseason of the school was able to connect and was able to plug her calendar accordingly. So what you'll realize is that once you get either assigned a school district or you start identifying which district, for example, I happen to serve one of these districts called East Orange. And what you're going to do is you're going to look up the schools in this particular district, basically. So let me see if I can. And when you look up the schools, you're going to be able to verify information about these schools. So, for example, this district happens to have early childhood centers. They happen to have early childhood providers. There's several elementary schools, right? And there's several secondary schools, and there's also secondary programs. If you notice that these are well listed, that was one of the reasons why I like this particular district. They tell me where the school is at, what the address is, and Monica Burton, or Assistant Principal Smith, or Miss Brantley, or Mr. Heffy. These are different individuals that run those schools. If you were to go through your district website, so let's say you are serving a particular town, city, or area, you find out how the districts are set up. Some districts are set up by county, some districts are set up by locality. This happens to be by locality, and this is a city in New Jersey that happens to call East Orange. And when you get there, you can identify the website and then get to the website, and you want to identify the school calendar. Once you get to the school calendar, you can begin to identify different events that are available on that calendar. Once you identify, if this was January 1st, you don't want to show up on the 1st because school is closed. And obviously, you get to get a spectrum of events, or the 19th school was closed, or you get a chance to, if you wanted to develop relationships with the board of directors, giving you a little secret here. And you go to that board meeting, you might have a high chance of meeting the business administrator or the individuals that will say yes to you at a school district. There is more than one way to skin a cat. So if you are trying to get approval from a business administrator that's hard to get at a actual day-to-day work environment, what about when you go to their board meeting and you go and introduce yourself after or before the meeting? Hey, Principal Administrator Ballard, pleasure to meet you. You don't know me. My name is Hans Augustin. I just wanted to introduce myself. I wanted to see if I can connect because I'm looking to see if I can get approved. I know you're busy right now. You're about to start your meeting, but I just thought I would say hello. Great. He'll probably be like, yeah, that's a pleasure to meet you. Why don't you stop by my office? By the time I see him the third or second time, he knows me now, and there's a good chance that I can get what I need or the help that I'm looking for because you're building a business. But that way, you get a chance to look at the calendar and you also get a chance to understand what's happening now. You can do a full calendar view so that you can do exactly what's happening. But this is how I can cherry pick what type of events that I can begin to connect with so I understand when school is going to close. Is there a particular board meetings, or on the 25th, there's a staff in service day. And on that staff in service day, there might be an opportunity for me to be present because they happen to have an opportunity where staff is only. So if I am now walking in that school and I'm looking for a great date to ask for, I would like, I noticed that you guys have something on the 25th. I was looking to set up for the teachers there or bring them some lunch on that staff in service day. So you want to get very comfortable with this calendar and be very clear because this is going to map out how you can work with schools, when schools are closed so you don't waste your time. But I create a routine of every Wednesday of being able to get out to these locations and I map out what I want to do. The three key people that you should become extremely comfortable with, these are the three main bosses. And I will tell you that the number one boss is generally the principal secretary because most principals are focused on teachers and the school and the protection of students and parent conversation and leadership conversation. If you happen to catch them, you got to be ready and quick. Sometimes the assistant principal is going to be a great contact, but I would say more than 60% of the time, the principal secretary. Let me give you a fair warning now. Please do not go into a school trying to be rude to the principal's secretary. If you want to get shut down in a school, this is the person who will not only help you get it done, it has the ear of the principal. I have been in enough rooms where the principal gives him the head nod and or the secretary rubs the principal the right way and says, yeah, the young man came in, he wanted to just set up an event, and she gives him the green light and I am booked on the calendar. So they are just as powerful as anybody else. As much as you want to also know that you should know who you're talking into. So when I tell you to do the staff directory research, if you know you are going to East Orange and you are going to Browser School, you should definitely know that the principal is Principal Brantley or Principal Heffy. That way, when you go in, I'm looking for Principal Heffy. I'm looking for Assistant Principal Brantley. I'm looking for the Secretary, Miss Foster. When you call people by name, it's easier for you to connect, and they assume that they either know you or they've met you before, or that if you're calling them by name, you must be somebody. You might be a parent, you might be somebody that the principal needs to get to. So when I walk into schools, I'll be like, by the way, is Principal Heffy available? Did you have an appointment? Absolutely not. But I did need to stop by and connect with him because I wanted to make sure we got on the calendar. Is he in the office? Sure. Let me get him for you. I'm not also rude with the security guards. The two people you want to be careful about is security guards and secretaries. Because when the principals and assistant principals are running around the school, these are the two people that can get you further or deeper and closer to the office. So essentially, I tell people, but the reason why you want to do the staff directory, this is also public information. Just like I show you guys on that website, you can begin to identify who that is. Sometimes you can be a little bit quick and make a couple phone calls, but easier to go on the website. Most websites are 80 to 90% updated. Some school districts can be a little off, but for the most part, you can identify. So I want you to do your homework first. And knowing the staff names make a great first impression because that positions you to connect. They either believe that they've met you before or they don't know if you're a parent. So generally, don't come in like I'm Vendor Bob and I know everything. You don't. I'm just telling you that you will know everything, but you want to come in with a little bit of a humble heart, asking for names and numbers, but also be confident. And don't waste Principal Heffy's time because he's busy. When you walk in, hey, Principal Heffy, pleasure to meet you. My name is Hans Augustin. I was looking at the calendar on February 25th. I noticed that you guys have your next inset day. I was looking to set up a teacher's event. Would that work for you? If he says yes, perfect, great. Principal Heffy, I think I got your email, but do me a favor. Could you write it down on this piece of paper? When I get home this afternoon, I'm going to email you a confirmation that I will be here on the 25th. And by the way, what time is the lunch period? Isn't it between 11 and 1 o'clock? He says, yes, ours is actually from 11 to 12:30. Perfect. Let me write that down. How many teachers are available to you? About 50 in the school altogether. Great. Do I need to send you some flyers? He says, no, we'll just have them do an announcement when you get here, and we'll also but send it to Secretary Foster. She'll probably just email it a couple of days before the event. Pleasure to meet you. Did you need anything? Oh, by the way, Principal Heffy, I know I didn't get a chance to, but I gave one to them, but this one's for you. So you can understand that you are building relationships in this space, but you need to start by knowing where you're going. You need to start by understanding the calendar and who are you asking for, right? So let me see if I did something mistake there. All right, perfect. Now, the reason why I talked about the gift bags is because these are going to become your best friends. When I got here, I was like, gift bags. I remember doing something like this before. So when Mr. Samad shared it the first time, it kind of clicked. See, people who give things can actually receive things. People who give things can actually receive things. So what you want to do is get very comfortable with, we'll show you how to order these on Amazon. Amazon, you can get 100 of these for less than 25, 27 bucks or whatever the case is. And I ordered the small folders. And if you notice, these are labeled. I've had a principal call me. I couldn't find your information. I don't know where I left that folder, but I found your information on the labels on the gift bag because she's not going to throw my gift bag away. It's on her desk. The folder, she could leave it in another classroom. The card, it could fall out her pocket. But this little bag will become your best friend because I tell people it helps build relationships. So you want to put a little label on it. If you can't get the ERG, start with ones on your own. But we put that flyer in it, and then we put different ways to say hello to the teacher. Some people put little Clorox packs, little highlighters. I happen to keep mine just as simple too. I put some cookies in it, I put some pens, and I put some colored notebooks, and I put my label on it. What are these gift bags for? Remember, there is three people that you should be having a great relationship with at the school: principal, assistant principal, and the secretary. And you should add one more person, which is the security guard. You will never make it past the door if the security guard, for some reason, doesn't like you. Whether it's a police officer, whether it's an individual independent security system, there are the gatekeepers. Be prepared. So, what we do with these gift bags is I will go in and let's say I'm meeting Principal Connor. Is that Clint Connor? Principal Connor, pleasure to meet you, sir. How's everything today? My name is Hans Augustin. I work with the Education Retirement Program, work with National Life. We're one of the approved vendors of the school district. I stopped by today because I was looking at the calendar, was looking to host an event on the 25th during your next inset day. Just wanted to confirm if that was okay. He says okay. By the way, Principal Connor, I didn't get a chance to meet with you before. I think I met one of your secretaries when I stopped by here the first time, but I bought some gift bags for you and just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to talk with me. But I'll be here on the 25th. Is Assistant Principal Miss Fowler here? Oh, she's not. Do me a favor, leave her the bag. And I remember Miss Foster was the one that manages. Is she still the admin here? Perfect. Leave her a bag. The fourth bag is going to be for anybody that should be in the office that looks like they need a bag or for the security guard. So when you go to visit 8 schools, 8 times 4 is 32 bags you should have in hand. It is a simple, unfortunately, and it's not an unreasonable cost, but it's a very great investment for you to say hello and to say thank you, or create your own version of a thank you card, but show up with something. Do not show up empty-handed, but also do not let this stop you from moving forward. If you don't have gift bags or there's not a budget for it right now, show up with your folders of information and show up with something nice. Meaning like, hey, I showed up with some candy. I showed up with something, but do not show up empty-handed because people who have gifts will actually receive. So these gift bags is a great way for you to introduce yourself to the school community and connect so that whenever you close on something, you say thank you. If they gave you a date, say thank you. If they confirm something that they're going to follow up, say thank you regardless, because that is the part of the relationship game that you're going to position yourself in the school system. Now, if you notice, I got my little golf shirt on today, but dress like a teacher or dress business casual. Every once in a while, I'll pop in a suit, but I don't do it every time because I don't want to overwhelm the dress code. I want to fit in to get in. I've had people think I work at the school. They'd be like, are you a new teacher? No, I'm just one of the reps for National Life Group. I actually have a meeting with Miss Heather today. Okay, well, her room is around the corner. And what did you do again? Oh, I work with National Life Group. Matter of fact, I got a folder here. What's your name, ma'am? Oh, okay. Principal Francis. Teacher Francis. Pleasure to meet you. Matter of fact, let me give you. I don't want to be late for Miss Heather, but let me give you a folder of information. What I do is I actually help teachers with pension information and reviewing their financial solutions. But my name and information is right there. And if she's ready or he's ready to give me his name and phone number, by the way, let me have you fill out this white card. Leave it at the front desk. I'll pick it up from your secretary because I know you're busy. Or what room in you, and I'll come and get it from you because I got to go see Miss Heather. So I tell people once you're in the school, dress, professional, dress business casual. Be prepared for ID, meaning that if you don't have a ID, we'll show you how to order one from one of the options that we have online. Very inexpensive. Or just make sure that you have your driver's license with you. This is a school, and they want to make sure they're letting people into the building correctly and informing. This is not a conversation with the security guard. Matter of fact, sometimes I hit with the reverse psychology. If they don't even ask me, I say, "Hey, did you need my ID? Did you want me to sign in on this over here?" I'm compliant. I want to be in the schools consistently, so you should be not non-compliant. What do you mean I need an ID? None of that. None of that. I'm not saying you would. I'm just saying don't, because it'll position you correctly. When you ring the doorbell, ask for the principal by name. The reason why we like to share this information with you guys is because sometimes when you guys get to these schools, there's a lot of security. So one of the first security points is you're ringing a doorbell and there's a little camera there looking at you and you got to look confident. I'm sorry, young man, who are you asking for? Principal Heffy. Is he here at the same time? I'm not yelling. Did you have an appointment? Absolutely not. But I did stop by because I needed to speak with him because I wanted to confirm the time for the event. Boop. Now you get to the entrance area and you might meet the security guard. And he says, "Hey, I need you to be." Absolutely, no problem. Did you have an ID on you, young man? Here's my ID. Good, let me sign in. Where were you headed to? I need to see Principal Heffy. Great. He's over there on the right. Go to the office around the corner. I've done enough offices to understand that they're willing to work with you. They might think you're a parent, they might think it's something. And also, sometimes you should be prepared for the opposite. Maybe they don't let you in and they don't have time to do it. It's okay. Get to the next school. You got 8 that you're going to visit. Hit the security guard with the folder. Do me a favor. I know I didn't get a chance to go in there, but would you be able to leave these bags for Principal Heffy? See, I like giving gifts regardless. You know why? Because maybe it opens up the door the next time. Don't take it personal. Leave the gift bags for them. Leave them the folders. Have the security. I was a nice young man. He left you guys some gifts and stuff like that. And who was that? So that next time I follow up or reach out, you now have done your job. I tell people when you get to schools, it's all part of the process. Some people are busy, some people have time, some people want to talk to you immediately. I've had principals be like, "Well, young man, come inside. Let's go to the office. I got a few moments." And you can't waste their time neither. Pitch very quickly and follow their lead. If they're busy people, don't get too relaxed, don't get too comfortable because you got 6 other schools to go visit. So that way you want to position yourself, but you need to know the name so that as you approach schools, you're prepared. What are you saying when you approach schools? Now, this is where you should start. I mean, don't do me yet because this is a year and a half later. But if you notice that my language has changed a lot in favor of how I feel about this and what I do every day, so it makes things very easily. But when you're first approaching schools, I want you to get comfortable with this language. "Hey, my name is Hans Augustin. I'm with the Education and Retirement Group, and we are contracted with multiple carriers approved in your school district. We provide education on pensions." Please make sure to say that, "and to help teachers retire better. In most schools, we schedule a sweet treat event, and particular on non-student days, we set up the table in the lounge to feed the staff and answer their questions they may have. What day this month can we get on your calendar?" So once you practice that language, this is what you're going to use when you meet most gatekeepers. Security guard said, "Why are you here?" "I'm here to set up an event. I just wanted to connect with Principal Bradley." "Hey, Principal Bradley, pleasure to meet you. My name is Hans Augustin. I'm actually with the Education Retirement Group. We happen to be contracted with multiple carriers that are approved in school districts. We actually provide education on the pension. We actually help the teachers retire better. And in most schools, we actually set up what we call a sweet treat event. And particularly, we do it on some of the non-student days. and we're able to set up a table in the lounge. We're going to feed your staff. We're going to answer their questions they may have. What day this month can we get on your calendar? That's when you first getting going. And sometimes you got to step back, and I lose this language too because it depends on the environment and the timing that you have with people. So I want you to be prepared to pitch. Pitch just means that you have your 30-second commercial so that you can make the next move, whether it's getting into the office or positioning yourself to have a conversation with the direct yeses. And then don't be surprised when they give you the date. Great. I'm looking at my now. Make sure you got your phone calendar and you got your routine in place and you know what's your availability so that you can position the event the day that makes sense. And she's like, well, I was thinking Wednesday. You know what, Principal Brandley, I was looking. I know you said Friday. Is there a possibility that we could do it that Wednesday? If she says no, no problem. Get there on Friday. But if you can move it in your favor, which I like to do, if not, I'm going to show up at the day that she gave me so I can build a relationship. And I'm going to tell you guys something about this sweet treat event so that you're very clear. One of the first places that you guys should get very comfortable with is something that I learned here on this platform. The first event that you want to do in a school, if you are brand new, is in a teacher's lounge. The teacher's lounge is the first sacred place that you can build relationship in the schools without too much confrontation, without too much know-how, because this is their lunchroom, this is their environment. You get a chance to engage them in small events. If you happen to launch a staff meeting, make sure you bring a leader or somebody who's had experience doing it. The reason why we don't start in staff meetings, that is generally the whole school. And if you're not prepared to present an environment, you might shut your own door behind you because that's 80 people, that's 100 people, that's 70 people. I haven't started doing my staff events until the end of last year because I was in a bunch of lunchrooms, building relationships, closing deals, and now I have intimacy in the schools. What does that mean? Meaning that when Heather knows you or Principal Bradley knows you, it's easier to get the staff meeting now and you can present to the entire school. The cycle of events is getting into a lunchroom or a lounge to introduce yourself to the community, and you're their best friend. You're bringing fruits, you're bringing some lunch items, so you want to be prepared. So be aware that when you are doing these events can be hosted anywhere from a sweet treat to a teacher's appreciation event to an orientation event and or different vendor events that they have. You'll begin to realize as you begin to do more events in schools, there's a cycle of different things that could be happening in your school that you can get a chance to integrate into. So when they do a career day, that might be an opportunity for you to connect and be present and set up a table. When they do pre-report card grades, they might have something in the cafeteria or whatever the case is, or cultural event days. Anything that gives you a chance to connect and build relationships, and you find the events that are more appropriate. Because what you want to do is you want to confirm the date that you identify, the date that you're confirming. So she says, come on the 25th, and then you want to confirm the location. Most time when I'm doing something, it's going to be in a teacher's lounge. Every once in a while, it might be in one of these rooms, but you want to make sure that you're in the right room. Sometimes the cafeteria in certain schools is where everybody comes for break. But in most schools, it's in the teacher's lounge, or there's a special classroom where everybody goes and hangs out because maybe there's more space and the secretary knows the deal. So you ask her, what's the best location to have? Is it the teacher lounge or another room that you guys host? Oh, no, 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 you should do it down here. They always come down here around this time. But most of them is going to be in a teacher's lounge. So you want to identify where you're hosting so that you're not in a place that there's no action, but you want to be in the place where everybody can go get more people. The reason why I love teacher lounge is that once you bring a little food or bring a little action, they start calling their other friends because everybody likes a donut, everybody loves patties, everybody loves a sandwich. So they go call. But before you leave my table, you got to fill out this card sincerely. But you want to block out time on your calendar. So one of the things that I'll show you guys is that, for example, when I do events, I block out time. So for example, on the 21st, there was an event that we had going on. But if you already noticed that next week, I already have time blocked out for certain particular things. My Wednesday is always locked off for my events. And I've now basically been telling everybody, hey, from 9 to 5, we're not talking right now because I'm event creating or I'm in an event. And next week we have another event on the 28th, and it's going to be from 11 a.m. to 1:30. So literally, I block off my ability to make sure that I'm going to get there on time. What does that mean? At 11:30, if my event's at 11:30, you want to be at the school by 11 o'clock. You got to make sure that you plan your drive time, your arrival, and setup time so that you have enough. I've done this long enough that 30 minutes is more than enough, but maybe for you, you want to get there because sometimes you got to park you got to park across the street and you got to carry this in. So you don't want to be shuffling too late because teachers are on a time block. You want to make sure that you're very clear about getting there. You should be the first one in the room so that by the time they come in, they're like, who are you? What's going on here today? Or why are you setting up the table? Whose food is this for? But if you get in there, you shuffling a little bit behind, you want to be aware of that. And we're going to talk about the gatekeeper appreciation and some of the other stuff right now. As far as what do you need for an event? You can go all out if that's part of your budget. But if you actually just had some nice granola bars, you went and picked up some muffins, you went and picked up some donuts, if that's what you can do, you can now position yourself to give. Miss Michelle has this great little setup. She got these little white trays, and she got her granola bars and little packets and her little orange juice and water, and that works well for them. Teachers are hungry, but they're not greedy. But if you give them a full spread, they'll be even nicer. But for the most part, you just want to be able to come in with something. I'll give you guys an example of what is a great spread. This event that George Ridley and his associate, Miss Loretta, did have produced well over like 40 something lead cards. I think Mrs. Samad was there at that time. But they essentially had positioned themselves where they set up a very nice table. They got their food and arrangements there. They got their NLG stuff. They got their folders set up. They got their pens. They are ready for attack. One of the reasons why we tell you want to arrive at least 40 minutes early, you want to set up your treats and your folders for display. But let me give you guys some game on greeting the staff. Greeting the staff is important. You are not there to be sitting behind a table. You are not behind your computer. You are not dialing phones, and you're not making any phone calls. Not because you can't, not because we're your boss. I'm just giving you as much game as possible. When you get in, you got an hour and a half to work the room because they're busy individuals, teachers, staff members, subs, anybody who's presently in the school. The principal will pop up and check on you. The assistant principal will pop up and check on you. So if you're sitting in a corner, they'll be like, well, what is this person doing? I'm always engaged. And I remember who everybody is. Aren't you the principal? Aren't you the assistant principal? I didn't get a chance to meet you. But when I walk in, if George Ridley walked in, he's a teacher. Hey, Mr. George, how you doing, sir? Or if I don't know, how you doing, sir? This is Hans Augustin. I work with National Life Group. Has anybody helped you with your pension information? And then I'll hit him with, I see you about to go warm up your food there. Go ahead, get to the warming up the food. You may have to even use the restroom, but I'm gonna be right here. I want to make sure I get you a folder information, and I bought you some food, and I don't plan to go home with it. And they laugh a little bit, but you're engaging and you're developing relationships. When I say greet the staff, hey, let's say it's Miss Murphy. Hey, Miss Murphy, pleasure to meet you. Or let's say Miss Murphy got sent by George Ridley. Hey, Mr. George told me to come down. Hey, pleasure to meet you, Miss Murphy. My name is Hans Augustin. I work with the Education Retirement Program, National Life. Has anybody reviewed your pension information? No, it's been a while. How long have you been at the school? Great. I've been only been 2 years. Oh, you're a brand new teacher. Congratulations. Do me a favor. Let me have you fill out this white card. I'm gonna give you some folder of information. So that way we can set up a time via Zoom to see what I could do to help you. Did you have any specific questions today? They got one. Sometimes I'll give them two because there's other people coming and you want to sometimes in a big school work together. Sometimes you might have to handle an event by yourself, but you want to be prepared. Sometimes you want to position yourself so that you can know that you are there to engage. You got your folders ready, you got your pens ready, you're providing food, you are the caretaker that day. And people don't want to talk, it's okay. But at least I said hello to you. No, I'm good, Hans. Well, pleasure to meet you. And I'm going straight to the next teacher and I'm going to engage and get their name and phone number. You're going to be in this school over and over again because you're building relationships. So you don't need to crush it just because somebody don't want to fill out a card. It's okay. Somebody's going to fill it out. I've got 30, 40 of them. And then there's still more people to go get after that. So you're going to be able to schedule appointments. I have become quite the expert of this now, meaning that we used to just pick up cards and get the name and phone number because we were just learning that process. So it's okay if that's what you do first, but you'll become comfortable, or you can become comfortable immediately, that sometimes you have your computer. And after they filled out that card, you say, you know what, do me a favor, let me look at the calendar right now. Why don't we go ahead and set up a time to see what day we can actually help you? And you can pop it in your calendar. It's one of the reasons why you want to become disciplined about this. I am super disciplined about my calendar. I know where I need to be. I know where I'm taking trips to. I know exactly what times are blocked off. I know what's available. Green means I need to do a teacher appointment. Red means I got something like a training or something particular to do. And then my family's involved in my calendar too. So I've created room for everything, but it's based on my calendar. And you need to get comfortable with that. So when you talk to that teacher, you know exactly how to pop it onto your calendar in your favor. And if you're building an organization, please take photos. We have millions of photos of different events that we position ourselves to be able to tell the team that this is not only possible, and then you use that event to schedule the next event. I don't care if I got 2 cards from that event, which has been never happened to me, but I've gotten 8 cards, and they'd be like, "How was the event?" Excellent. Everything is excellent. I am not walking downstairs and telling the teacher that anything wrong. I'm not going downstairs to do that. What I'm going downstairs to say, everything was great today. I'm glad you had me. I talked to a few teachers, or I talked to a lot of teachers, or I got a chance to connect. Everything stays positive. All the other stuff is your boardroom conversation on your way home because you're going downstairs to schedule your next event. Let's say she's the secretary, Miss Murphy. Miss Murphy, and he said, Hans, how was the event? Excellent. We had a lot of teachers we got a chance to. A matter of fact, I left you some donuts. I didn't want to leave it upstairs for you. By the way, I was thinking I'm gonna come back the next quarter in March. Let's look at the calendar now so we can confirm event. Oh, perfect, Hans. What day did you want? That's exactly what you're doing because you're building relationships. So you want to position yourself and you want to do the same. So when you finish an event, go downstairs and schedule your next event or prep them mentally for your next event. Hey, I know we did the lounge event, but maybe we could do a staff meeting. I was thinking this. When is your next staff meeting? Get the details so that you prep yourself for when you need. If you're a brand new person, you might need to bring somebody with you so that you know what you're doing, but you're positioning your business for the next opportunity. That's all I believe in. And then you want to be able to follow up and hit thank yous for the cards for the attendees or reach out and have the appointment. Now, let me give you guys one more thought process. This is Gabe Gonzalez. If you haven't met him before, if you're a brand new agent, essentially, this is the gentleman who created the founding conversation. So I had nothing to do with ERG. I didn't build it, but I learned from him and what he was able to give me as information to be able to position myself. So this is him showing up as a National Life rep at the time, going into different events. But we do this on a regular basis. Let me give you guys something important. Please do not do what I did. After the event, you have to be on attack mode. What that means is you told the teacher, by the way, what time is the best time to call you? And they say 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. So when I'm in schools, guys, I'm literally greeting the staff and I'm filling out the card. What's the best time to reach you? Oh, give me a call at 5 o'clock or give me a call at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And you say, no problem. When you say no problem, they think you're calling them that afternoon at 4 o'clock. So when you get home, you want to make the phone calls immediately or follow up. Even if you left a text or email or you left them a voice message, you did your part. And some of the other ones you're going to call because you're going to schedule events. When you call, you are not asking for permission. This is not the permission game. You done gave them donuts. You done gave them some patties. You done gave them some hellos. You done some hugging. You done some handshaking. You done some little crying because somebody told you some personal story. You know them already. You guys are cool. So when you get there, you be like, hey, you call, let's say Miss Fowler filled out my card. Hey, this is the already met, keep it simple, assumptive appointment close. Hey, this is Hans Augustin with the Education Program. Hi, thanks again for allowing us to host the event at the school. I am just calling to confirm a day and time to meet and discuss your retirement options. I'm available tomorrow either at 11 a.m. or tomorrow evening, which one works best for you. So when I get to my calendar, I am looking at it. If I want to meet with this teacher on the 27th or the 28th, I'll say, teacher, by the way, my name is Hans Augustin. I met you earlier today on the 27th. I'm looking at the calendar. I can meet with you Tuesday or Wednesday. Is 7 or 6 o'clock better for you on the 28th? So that way you already know what you're asking for. In this case, you are just saying the same, but this ain't a phone call this is not a phone call that says, by the way, I met you. I was thinking you already did that job because you asked your questions, you fed with them, you work with them. And the reason why this is a powerful because they're expecting you to call. They filled out the card with their name, their phone number, their email address, their pension, their salary. They want to talk. And the biggest mistake that I personally made was waiting 2, 3 days and getting busy not to follow up. I mean, I end up finding them, but you can find them immediately to get them on your calendar. So now our approach is literally right either at the event we're making appointments or immediately that same day. Hey, this is Hans Augustin with the Education Retirement Group. Thanks again for allowing us to host our event at the school. I am just calling to confirm a day and time to meet and discuss your retirement options. I'm available tomorrow. Please take a copy of the screen or we'll send you a copy of it so that you use language or some language of that. But what happens is this is just a script to conversate, but you don't really, you can begin to use your version of when I call, hey, I'll call like this person's name is, hey, Miss Green, this is Hans Augustin. We met at the Orange School event. I know you had some questions about your pension. I was just looking to confirm a time. I'm looking at my schedule. I got Tuesday or Wednesday. Which one's best for you? Okay, on Tuesday, I have 5 or 6 p.m. Oh, they'll lock in if it makes sense, or they'll be like, no, that doesn't work for me. I'm only available on Saturday. Great. Let me look at the Saturday schedule. Perfect. I'm going to send you an email of confirmation. It's going to say your name, your phone number at the top, and the school district that you're at. You're going to receive an email with a Zoom link. I look forward to meeting you on Saturday at 10 a.m. I just met with Juanita this morning. The reason why I'm telling people that is because you position yourself to win because you already did the work. The reason why we're very clear, everybody, that this works is because we've done this long enough to understand that this is what happened. We've done this throughout the United States. As an organization, we are highly focused on the actual school system because the school system is an ecosystem. I'm only in phase 2 of my plan for schools, meaning I just did one of my first life changer events. We'll talk about that another time as a way to leverage relationship in the school systems. But we are going to be walking across the street to small businesses. We will walk across the street to churches. We'll develop relationships with individuals in the school because we've picked up enough white cards and closed enough business because some day, year and a half ago, this gentleman said, hey, I'm going to show you how to walk into schools. And our entire organization does it as a regular, but we learned it from our founder, Gabe Gonzalez. We learned it from individuals that have already been doing it at a high level. All we did was rinse and repeat the same information so that you can position your business to win. It's a numbers game. The reason why I tell people it's a numbers game, the more cards you have, the easier it is for you not to worry about who doesn't show up to an appointment. And it's more opportunity for you to talk to somebody who will show up to an appointment that will let you move $400,000 of their money, that will let you use $100,000, that will write a $500 IUL, that will say, I start $1,000 contribution plan. I've done all versions of it. And nobody bothers me. You could do $100 plan and you could do $1,000. You could do a $50 term and you could do $1,000 IUL. Everybody is a client. And you know why clients are important? Whether they're 50 or 1,000, there are gateways to other people. So my first gateway is to get into your school, build a relationship because one teacher is married, has children, has multiple family members, has multiple people that they're part of a community. I have gone into a school a principal who introduced me to her church members who said, "Hey, my husband's a pastor. Why don't you come and do an educational event there?" I tell people the reason why you'll find business is because you're building relationships. Everybody is somebody outside of the school, but you position yourself to develop in a market. And this happens to be the niche market that I've leveraged in this space that I hope you will find as an opportunity to leverage. I'm going to stop sharing information. I'm going to open up for any questions before we wrap up tonight. Hopefully, this has been solid information for those of you who attended. Normally, I can't see all that, but I guess there's a great amount of people here today. But what questions do we have? Let me go back into the chat. I see a lot of communication. Miss Coffee, how are you doing today? Good to see you. Mr. Stephen Taylor, pleasure to see you. But what questions do you guys have today? I know y'all can't be quiet after all that talking I just did.
You did such a great job, Hans. Amazing.
Hey
Let me
Hans, I
see.
did have a question.
Go ahead, Miss
And today has
Francine.
been really wonderful. I'm so glad I was able to tap in. So, how soon after we do a sweet treat do you, schedule the next event? Like that
Oh,
week, 2 weeks, a month?
so if I go to a school today, I'm looking to be there like another 60 days from now,
Okay.
because I was just there. Unless there was some like other opportunity that's like coming up very what like a career fair, depending on when I'm there, and I'll be like, oh, let me jump on that. But I'm looking to 60 days from now because I don't personally want to overwhelm them. I just saw everybody, but I do want to be consistent. You need to be in a school, my personal opinion, 4 times a year at minimum, so that you're in the beginning of the season, a second quarter, third quarter, and before they close.
Come down there.
Is
Okay.
I
I
was
have
I
two.
would say this though, if you guys can hear me. In the beginning though, for you, Coco, if I'm just kind of getting
Well,
my
you
sweet
better
treat
hop to it.
business off the ground,
Mr. Taylor, you
um,
might be unmuted there, sir.
yeah, if we can mute Mr. Taylor, please, that'd be
You
great. Can we mute Mr. Taylor, please? Thank you.
I had to get him this damn
I'm not hosting,
extra
so
cheddar,
can we mute
what the hell
Mr.
ever.
Mr. Taylor?
Then I had to get him
Please,
Hold on.
whoever's
a
hosting,
pizza,
mute
and
Mr.
then I had to
Taylor.
get him macaroni and cheese. That's $8 fucking. I'm like,
Uh
jeez.
oh.
One
Can we,
second. Hold on.
Mr. Taylor?
Mr. Taylor, you might be muted this. You
well,
need to,
Mute your Zoom,
reckon you didn't
sir.
get the
Mr.
damn
Ta
best part. Bring me some damn
Mr.
macaroni and
Taylor,
cheese.
Mr. Taylor, you might need to mute yourself there.
Lord have mercy.
He about to,
Um, so
I got,
so
still got a couple.
Mr. There
thank
you
you,
go.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Coco, if you could hear me, what I would suggest though is in the beginning, right? Because Hans is at a place where he's got maybe 4 or 5 schools in rotation. But if it's my first school, I'm trying to get back there next month. I got about 300 educators to touch, right? And I want to make my presence felt. I want to make sure that they trust me and they understand that
What
I
is
plan
this?
on being a part of this community.
Where?
Mr. Lamont, if you could mute yourself, sir, that'd be awesome. Um, so in the event, Coco, that you are just starting, I would try to get back the next month, right? Until you get 2, 3, 4, 5 schools in rotation, then you can kind of get to a place where I'm every quarter, I'm here, not even every quarter, but like every month and a half or so, because the school season is only 9 months, right? And so that would be my suggestion starting off. Book a sweet treat event. I may touch 12, 15, 20 educators, but after that, I want to be back next month, right? And then maybe I get another school in rotation, and then I kind of ease off of how often I'm there, and then I'm swinging it every, like Hans said, every 60 days or so. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
That's great. I have two more questions. The next question is the way that we go into the schools. Okay, so what I'm gathering, we first come to introduce ourselves, and that's when we bring the gift basket or the gift bags. The second one, now would it be, does it matter how we come in, a sweet treat, or if we want to come in first with appreciation or I took a screenshot, I took a picture of the other avenues into the school. would it matter if I wanted to do appreciation first opposed to a sweet treat? Is this a system or a plan that you all have, down packed as a sweet treat first, and then we do appreciation, and then we do, I think it was like a vendor
There's a
event.
there's a few different schools of thought there, right? This is mine, and then I'll let Hans give you his. I want to build relationships first. I don't really want to come in with a formal presentation in the beginning because it's kind of one and done, right? I present, and let's say I'm at a staff meeting, I do kind of like an overview, or maybe I'm presenting the, Do Good Heroes Award or something like that. It's kind of a one and done. But if I come through in the sweet treat through the lunchroom and I'm breaking bread with teachers, I get to hee hee ha ha, shake some hands, laugh a little bit. They get to know me, I get to know them. Now I can invite myself back as a part of the community, right? Now I can invite myself back as somebody who's more you than someone who's trying to pitch or sell something, right? So I always choose the
Oh, that
let's
makes
let's lounge, let's hang out, let's drink some coffee together, donuts. How long have you been in this district? Awesome, awesome. Oh, so you've been at this school for 2 years. Well, what school were you at before this? Oh, I was at the other school for like 10 years. Get out of here, Miss Johnson. I know a few people at the other school. That's crazy. Me and a few of my colleagues, we were just down there the other day. Really? Oh, I know the principal down there. You guys have any trouble getting down there? Just let me know. Really? Absolutely. Right. So I'm building relationships and becoming a part of the community. Then I come through and say, by the way, I'd love to come by and nominate one of your, teachers, for one of our Do Good Heroes Awards or whatever the case may be. This is kind of how that works. Absolutely. So I always love to come through that door first. Hans, what do you think, brother?
No, I was going to tell you, I was actually writing it down. When I first got in, Miss Francis, I didn't have somebody here in New Jersey, so I understood that I didn't understand the language yet, so I focused on sweet treat events. But now that I've been doing it a lot, and the other reason why I was doing rotations is because I realized that I had multiple schools in a district. So I might be at Brantley today, but by the time I got through East Orange, it was like 10 schools, 20 school deeps in just elementary. So I would just have to tell the other lady I'll be back in 60 days. And I went to this school, went to this school, and went to this school and kind of rotated back. Now I realize that the reason why I do sweet treats, like he just said earlier, is because I get a chance to build a crowd and I build relationships. And then I go to big type of events, staff meetings, or I'll do after I do my staff meeting events, that's everybody. Then I'm looking for personal relationship events, career events. I'm looking for vendor type events that they might have, alternate like cultural events that give me a chance to connect with the teachers, parent teacher association events. I'm looking for that other next level. I'm talking for kids and parents. And then I learned this from Lauren Coffey actually. At the end of the year, I'm doing appreciation events because that's when they're kind of a little bit more chill, they're a little bit more relaxed, they're about to leave school or whatever the case is. But if you're in a school that has 10 schools, by the time you do the rotation around the 10 schools, you're gonna end up coming back somewhere around that 60-day or 35-day mark. But let's say you're only working, you got a smaller school district, you want to get intimate because there's a young couple, I mean, another two team members here that have a smaller school district of three. They're doing that rotation of every 35 days and coming back, and then now adding the staff meeting component. And I just added the Life Changer Award. So my mental thought process is now sweet treats, staff events, community events, that's the Parent Teacher Association, career fairs, and then I'm coming down to close the year out with appreciation events. And that's how, but the lounge is where you build opportunity, relationships, and applications because that's the real people that are there and they got real questions. The staff meeting, you got to be prepared, or if you have a leader in your area that can come down and do a staff meeting with you, don't be afraid to say yes. I'll drive down there and do the staff meeting and we'll figure it out. I've done it with multiple people already. So that's the thought process that I have with that, if that answers your question. So sweet treat, staff meeting, community events, and appreciation events is a cycle that I plan to run in a year. And the life changer kind of goes throughout that whole season now that I understand it better, basically.
Okay, this is really great. I'm all, wow, this is really great. So, this is a great segue into my last question. So when we're looking at the school space, it is very indicative on a schedule. They are schedule based. So just for instance, if I had all my ducks in a row and I can come in swinging, I'm coming in at basically the tail end of our year. Does it really matter like what time I'm coming in during like if I'm ready to go right now and on Monday I could do my starting my eight schools off next week. Would it change anything on the process? I really like your schedule because it gives me clarity on how to go through the seasons with them, the school teachers. So I really like your schedule. Me coming in now, would it change anything on how I would move forward?
No, it almost doesn't. It's just that I've cycled it in a year, but you could do the same thing in this last quarter because they have staff meetings once a month in schools. But I would walk in with the teacher lounge event and get in and start hugging and kissing people, respectfully. And then you'll be able to create as long as you have the confidence now, you can do a staff meeting before the year wraps up. The appreciation event, the reason why I got the psychology from it at the end of the year or even at the beginning of the year it's because they're kind of relaxed and they've seen you all year long. They're like, yo,
Right.
give me some pizza, say hello to me, and rub shoulders with me. And maybe I'll give you your name at that event. But the appreciation event is just more of a cultural opportunity. But you do end up picking up people because I realize that some people never talk to you the whole year. They've seen you, but they've seen you now enough. They be like, you know what, Nicole, I do need some help. And that's what's happened to me now, where I'll be like, somebody I met 6 months ago, they just would ignore me. And they'd be like, Hans, I see you still coming to the school. Did you still help with pensions? It didn't change, but I'll get all quiet. I'll be like, no, I still help with pensions. They'll fill out the card and we'll talk. But it doesn't change that much. It's just that you can maximize it knowing that the beginning of the school year, I walk in and I do my inset days because that's just kind of one of those days where there's no students. Then I'm going straight into teacher lounge because that inset day, I realize it's just people coming in and saying hello. You're at a table. They got questions. They're ramped and ready to get their new 403Bs in place because they're new teachers or they're just starting at that school. Teachers Lounge are going to give you time to meet all the real deal people, build a fan base. Staff meetings, it's all branding now. And you're getting new names and number, but a staff meeting to me is brand. Like, oh, I seen Hans in lunchroom. I saw him at the beginning of the season. And then the appreciation of cultural events is for me to meet students and parents. The appreciation is to close back. Hans is not leaving. He'll be back in September. And I just been part of your season all year long. But to answer your question, I would start with the insets may be available so you could look on the calendar. You got a smaller window to work with, but you can still make a lot of things happen because we're in January, and January is also still a great fruitful season. Nobody's leaving till May. You just got to get past all the testing that they have, but you're okay. And I would push forward according to the same plan. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you
All
for the
right,
time. Thank you.
no problem. Any other questions today?
Can
Go
I
ahead.
say something for her
Yes,
also? So
yes,
when I
sir.
first started with OIC, I contracted like right before Christmas, and then I didn't actually start going into physically going into the schools until spring. But I'm from New York, so I didn't realize that they're done in May, I had to learn. I don't know what state you're located in, but what it is it's just consistency. And like just like Han said, like, you want to give, show that you care, give information. The life changer, like you said, that's how I broke the ice with everyone was with the life changer programs. It shows that, because there's other people probably in the district that sell the same carriers. They just don't do what we do with the education piece and actually truly looking at them holistically. They're like a one and done, sign here, have a nice day, and you're never going to see them again. So it's about building that relationship, the consistency. SUNY, I just shared with a couple of my teams. I was talking about some stuff here in Tennessee. Like I hate the video, but there was a day where National Life Group was actually like, what are you doing? Why do you have so many life changes in your school? And then I thought I'm a New Yorker in Texas that got nominated and won an award for Stand Up for Texas Public Schools by the Texas Association of School Boards, because of the stuff that I was doing in the schools. And so I don't think it matters like the when, it's about the consistency of it. And then at the end of the year, I used to do like what's called like a sweet summer send off and just kind of like, make it a little bit of like a bigger kind of thing. And it's just a matter, of that consistency and getting in there. And they just need to know that you actually care.
Mr. Lauren is 100% correct. Anybody else? Who else we got? Mr. Lamont,
I
any questions? Go ahead. Who's that? I'm sorry.
yeah, I just I'm the only one I think not in the right place because I'm new. But I had a question, quick question for
No
my
problem.
education.
I got you,
So
Alice. Go
I'm the
ahead.
teacher. So
Hmm.
I can't go for an event because I'm already in.
Hmm.
So the timing is a problem because like you say, when you have your teacher
Come on, guys, come on
day,
in.
I'm already in the
Cold or
school,
what?
so I
Yes,
can't
sir.
create any event. So what else the option that I have?
I'm sorry, Mr. Lamont, if you can mute there for a second. You're good, though. Go ahead, Miss Alice. I just want to finish. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask, so how I can schedule that? What can be my option because I'm already there. So I can't go to another school because I have class.
Well, as a teacher, I would say, I realize in some school districts, there's a lot of after school events, basically, that are tied. So there's two places that I tell people, let's say you weren't a teacher. My personal opinion is trying to work within the community, if that makes sense, and that's not a problem at your school. Maybe it will be because of whatever, but if there's alternate school districts that you can start serving, I would try to work the parent teacher route, working within that context, trying to get in contact with those coordinators for the after type events or the evening events that they host or the boards host those different events. The other side of it is if you're working in another school district, I have now identified that a lot of school districts have their staff meetings in the afternoon or 3:15. So it's just that maybe if you did start with a staff event, you kind of understand the culture as a teacher and you kind of know what they're
That's just
expecting. That might be a space that you could consider serving, especially if you already know the community very well. Because as a teacher, you're kind of already respected. It's just a matter of as long as it's not a conflict. I would try to identify the other school districts that you could serve outside of yours and start hosting some of those key events or any after school events or any vendor type events that may be happening after your schedule if that's not an impact. That's the best advice that I can offer today, unless one of the other leaders can
I
also give
I
them a thought.
I also too, Miss Alice, where are you located and who's your business director?
Kim.
Kim, which Kim? It's a lot of Kims.
God. I think Howard.
Kim Howard, got you.
Kimberly Howard. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So what I would suggest is um, that you work with your business director and that team
Hmm.
of whomever. Are you in California too?
No, no, no. Oh, I'm muted. God. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yeah.
hear you.
Okay. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
When you're in Charlotte.
North Carolina, yes.
Mrs. Samad, were you muted or something? Because I know you were answering that question. No, did we lose him?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in Charlotte, um, I definitely know Kim Howard. We could probably come up with a strategic conversation. I'll reach out to Miss Howard so that we can connect because I'm on closer to the East Coast, and and I also know we networked with Elena and Brian because they're also in that same area. And then maybe we could talk today to kind of strategically understand the map of the schools. What school do you work with in Charlotte? What school do you work with in North Carolina?
CMS. So that's why I was saying I may be in the wrong place because my question is going to be like for beginners. But I just wanted to put it there so I have my information that I need. Yeah, I know I can reach to them. But just following the presentation. So that's how the question came in. I'm already in. When I'm in, I cannot be in another school. I need to be, and then by the time I finish, everybody's finished because we
With
had
that,
the same schedule.
maybe we can, what my suggestion is that I've had that conversation with part-timers too that may have a full-time job, trying to identify how they can connect with the district with some of the but with some of the after opportunities, and generally that's through the boards or through the parent teacher associations to see how we can develop. And maybe although you are at work that time, there is ways to potentially figure out how to make those additional phone calls during your lunchtime to kind of figure out some of the association events to kind of get you connected. But um, I'll mention that to Miss Howard too, and we can see what we can do to help you facilitate it, realizing that you have a full-time schedule and seeing what your options are to help you develop. Does that make sense, Miss Alice?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I'll call her today and ask her the same because we're all part of the same organization. But go ahead. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Yes.
Oh, go ahead,
Lamont
Mr. Lamont.
here. Yeah, sorry about the about the noise. It's snowing and sleeting here, so the kids are all excited when they ran in the door just now. So I apologize for that.
You're good.
Uh, I will ask a quick question, and I asked it earlier of my leads, and she's going to get the answer for me. But I wanted to ask a question because someone else is going to have the same thing, which is I'm ready to go. I'm ready to start going into schools and all that good stuff, but I cannot sign up for a 403, 457 plan of opportunities webinar until March because there's only 30 slots per week, or there's only two teachings during the month of February. They're already full. Rest of January is full. The first open event is March 5th.
Oh, well, I'll answer it this way, just so you know, Mr. Lamont, I did not do 403B before I started walking into a school. I end up doing it for compliance purposes, just to make sure that I end up fulfilling it. I did it this past January 15th just to kind of just to get connected, but it's generally not the stopper. Um, what happens is because what team are you on, Mr. Lamont, or who's your business director?
I'm
Here's
with
mine.
I'm with
Yeah,
Lauren.
I mean, Lauren will always confirm the same, but as far as it didn't stop me from going into schools. I still came to an academy like this. I still was able to get compliant documents from NLG, and you can start visiting. That's not a reason not to start visiting or start building. Maybe by the time one of the slots open, I thought there was an earlier class than March, but and they got all the slots full.
There's one on
Yeah,
February 5th, but I didn't realize that they had a cap on the training. That was the first time I've ever
yeah,
heard that. I'm going to go try to register myself right now and see if it lets me.
Yeah, because the other day
yeah.
the one that I was on, it had like 100 people. So she said like the lady who hosted it, she said like there was like 135 people. I just did the one on the 15th and there was 135. So maybe once you guys email retirement services, maybe there's something that we're missing, unless it's a different type of class. But I just did the one, and the one that we had on the 15th, it had well over 100 people on it. And she stated, I didn't see the number, but the young lady who was one of the she's like one of the leads. She hosted the class. I forgot her name, but there was well over 100 plus people. But my personal opinion, unless otherwise instructed by Miss Lauren, you can start connecting with schools. You can get the materials ordered. You can start visiting and start building relationships, but you will eventually need to make sure that you become compliant with National Life so that you don't create any problems with them as far as going through that compliance process. And I gotta believe they gotta open it at more than 30 slots because there's multiple people that I'm currently aware outside of our company that is still even pursuing that market. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
and I would register for the words. I would register for the next available just to have your slot in there, Lamont.
I
And
did.
then I'll email Luciano and Tracy Williams and see what we can do.
Okay, that's fantastic. And like I said, uh, Lauren knew I was going to ask the question, but I simply asked the question because I knew someone else is probably in the same situation.
No, 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 that's no problem. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, and
yeah.
Lamont, this is Pam. I'm in the same boat, but my problem is it's in the middle of the day and I have a full-time job in the schools. So, that's my problem. So we're also trying to work that out too. So, because I also want to make sure that I'm compliant.
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you guys my story. I would say that I pursued according to plan with the intention to be compliant, but it's generally not been a stopper unless there's something that NLG significantly changed. But I did not go through the compliance process. I just want to make sure that I respected the concept of what I was going to get done, and I knew that I was going to be respectful in those environments. And I understood what a 403B 457 is. And even when they did the compliance the other day, it's a full review of what they expect. It's not a 403B 457 training. So it's more about you guys going in and getting very clear about the product and working with the leader like Miss Lauren to help close if you guys get opportunities. But you should end up taking that class to make sure that you're in position. But that's not something that held me back at all.
Yeah, it's great information, and you need the class to get the NLG badge that says that you've been certified and trained in becoming a 403B 457 specialist, which sets you apart from the other randos that walk in and they're like, have a life license, and they're like, I can sell you a policy. But it's not like you can't sell these unless you've done this. You need because we take the state annuity courts training, right? You have that training you taken, and then all the other stuff, and then they have the learning library in the NLG back office also, which is a huge resource as well. But it's not like you can't sell those products unless it's just you can't get that NLG certified badge without it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just so you guys know, I only recently got that badge, and I don't even wear it. I just tell people it helps me, but I've built enough credibilities within the schools that as long as you're going in there respectfully, professionally, that's why I even said from the very beginning, guys, when you are in the schools, nothing's wrong. I mean, you're not fighting with anybody. You're not causing anybody. I see kids, I move to the side. If I'm waiting patiently at the front desk for a principal. Nothing's wrong in the school. Everybody, hey, no problem. I'll wait. Sure, security guard, fill this in. The biggest thing that I could tell you guys is just like you guys want your kids to be safe in any school that they go to, you're going in with that same. But I do understand that I am professionally licensed. I do have my annuity certification. I do understand the product. And even if I'm not personally understanding the product, I'm doing my co-training with the leader when I first got on. My first 90 days was organized where I worked with Mr. Mod exclusively on most of my appointments and other certified teacher people that did those appointments with me so that by the time you bring it back to a Zoom, because essentially what you guys are really doing is when you're in the school, you're really going to present, connect, and bring on names and phone numbers, and you're going to be setting appointments online with your leadership, or you're going to be professionally understanding what to do yourself so you can know what to do. That compliance badge is just another upgrade to your game so that they keep, but as far as you're making sure that you're respecting NLG's expectation to understand what you're doing and how to serve that teacher so that you don't close yourself out of a school or NLG doesn't personally close you out of school. So I got certified eventually once I understood that was required, and I even got recertified recently. But if you do that certification, it's just for you to be aware that NLG has asked you to go through certain standards, but you'll really learn what a 403B 457 is once you start to do product training and annuity training so that you're very clear as to what you're offering or you're working with a leader who currently has a lot of experience in doing so. Hopefully that's a great answer for everybody. Anybody else? All right. If not, I appreciate you guys. Happy Saturday. Mr. Lamont, be careful with that snow out there. I'm about to take off the next 24 hours because they got plenty of snow coming our way. What area are you in, sir? Are you in
I'm
Tennessee also?
I'm in West Tennessee. Yes.
So well, you guys got snow all the time over there, so I'm not mad at you.
No, this is a rarity here. We get more ice than anything.
All right,
Yeah.
well,
I got kids being pulled down the roads next to me on a golf cart because they're like so excited to see snow.
oh, well, it's a pleasure to meet all of you guys. Hopefully, this was helpful for you guys, and be careful with the snow events that you guys have in your area. We'll host this class again next Saturday, and if you can reach out to NLG, I gotta believe there's a slot to get in earlier because the other class we had the other day was like 100 and change people. And so I don't know how 30 people, unless they did something differently. I could be wrong. You could just reach out to them to be sure.
Mr.
Certainly will.
Hans,
Thank
this
you.
is Monica.
Hey, Miss Monica, how you doing?
Hi, good. How are you? I was
Good.
just looking on their website,
Hmm.
and I believe that might be the wrong class he's looking at.
Okay.
There's another one, I think March 12th, and that
Let me
might be
look.
the one that he needs to that he might be able to go in. Because yeah, the other one that I also took the training for the 403B
Hmm.
also, there was a lot of people on there, and I didn't have any problems registering.
I think I'm going to share my screen with you. I think Miss Monica is correct because I know I
I
just
think it's
did that
March
class,
12th.
March 12th. Let me see here.
Yeah, because
Annuity.
it should have a 2 hour time slot in there.
Let me see something.
Can someone put the link in the chat? Because I'm not following.
No problem. Let me share my screen with you guys.
Yeah, you're right. That's the one I need. Yep. I'll throw it in the chat.
Oh, you found it, Mr. Lamont?
I'm gonna just take the link and I'll throw it in the chat real quick and then but yes, I'm looking at the same thing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Monica.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think that answered it, right? Let's see here. Um, you looking for my keys? 1 second, sis.
Yeah, you should find it's a 2 hour class.
Yep. I just looked at that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
Okay.
just threw the calendar link in there. It's March 12th. It's you want the certified training, not the where to.
yep.
That's
Yeah.
easy. You just go
Yeah.
into, yeah, that's a link in your back. That's easy. We could do that one day on a 9 a.m. in 2 seconds. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I got it. Thank you. I'm signed up.
All right,
You're
perfect.
welcome.
Francis, did you get that? Thank you, Miss Monica.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
but I'm pretty far behind in my compliance, so I don't have a login or anything for
So
NLG.
give me a call and I'll walk you through that process today to make sure. You just need what? Did we submit contracting already for you? Or?
No.
All right,
So
so
we'll
then
talk about it.
yeah, no problem. Reach out to me today and then we'll figure. I'm gonna jump off now. You could call me once I'm done.
Okay.
Guys, happy Saturday. Appreciate all of you guys. Hopefully this was helpful to you guys. I'll see you guys in some more schools or we'll see you in your state soon. You guys have an excellent weekend and be safe. All right. Thank you very much. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank
Hans.
you.
All right, no
Thank you.
problem. Thank you.